morning, students. Today we are going to study about Unit 6, the human blood circulatory system. The human circulatory system, it helps to transport the blood throughout the human body. And here, the human blood circulatory system is a closed system. The heart is the main organ in the human blood circulatory system, and also in human blood circulatory system consists of arteries and veins. Okay? Now let us see about the structure of heart. This is the LS structure, longitudinal structure of heart. Right? The location, the heart is located within the lobes of lungs and posterior to liver lobe. So this is the location of heart. The heart is located within the lobes of lung and posterior to liver lobe. The heart has 4 chambers. It is separated by septum. The upper chambers are called as atria and the lower chambers are called as ventricles. And also the 4 chambers are right atrium, left atrium, and right ventricle and left ventricle. And also there are 2 valves present in between the atria and ventricles. They are tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve. So let us see about here. The heart wall, they are made up of 3 layers. They are called as epicardium, then myocardium, then endocardium. Okay? Here you can observe I already mentioned you. This is right atrium. This is right atrium and this is left atrium. Okay? This is right ventricle and this is left ventricle. The upper chambers are called as atria and the lower chambers is called as ventricle. And also the chambers are separated by septum. Here I already mentioned you about the valves. The valve between the right atrium and right ventricle is the tricuspid valve, and the valve between left atrium and left ventricle is bicuspid valve or mitral valve. So the function of this valve, the tricuspid valve helps to pass the blood from right atrium to right ventricle. And the function of mitral valve or bicuspid valve, it helps to pass the blood from left atrium to left ventricle. Okay? Next, there are 2 main arteries that are connected to the ventricles. They are aorta and pulmonary artery. And also there are semilunar valves. They are starting the points of the main arteries They are aortic semilunar valves and pulmonary semilunar valves. Then the main veins that are connected to the atria, they are superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. And the septum is present between the right and left atrium, known as the atrial septum, and the septum is present between the right and left ventricles, is known as the ventricular septum. Here, the main arteries that connected to the ventricles, they are pulmonary artery and the aorta. This pulmonary artery, it starts from the right ventricle and it carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Okay? This pulmonary artery starts from right ventricle and it carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Then the aorta, another main artery, it starts from the left ventricle and it carries oxygenated blood to all over the body. Okay? This aorta starts from left ventricle and it carries oxygenated blood to all over the body. And also, I already mentioned you semilunar valves. The semilunar valves, the pulmonary semilunar valves and aortic semilunar valves. The function of these semilunar valves to prevent the blood that flow back. Okay? And also, the main veins that connected to atria, they are superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. Both superior and inferior vena cava, they open from right atrium. Okay? Right. Now, let us see about arteries, veins, and capillaries. So, the artery, the vessel that carries away blood from heart. The main function of artery, the vessel that carries away blood from heart. But veins, the vessel that take the blood towards the heart. Here you can observe arteries and veins. The capillaries, they link both arteries and veins. Okay? Capillaries, they link both arteries and veins. Right? The next, the blood circulation in arteries, veins, and capillaries. So, pulmonary artery starts from the heart and transports blood to lungs. Then aorta supplies blood to other organs. And pulmonary vein starts from the lung and takes the oxygenated blood to left atrium. And veins from the above the heart join the superior vena cava, and the veins from the organs below the heart join the inferior vena cava. Right? Now let us see. The circulation in heart. When the right atrium and left atrium both contract, the valves, tricuspid valves and bicuspid valve opens and blood comes to contracts, at the same time, when the ventricles contract, the semilunar valves open, pulmonary semilunar valves and aortic semilunar valves open, and through the pulmonary artery, the deoxygenated blood that is carried to lungs. From the aorta, the oxygenated blood. From the aorta, the oxygenated blood carries all over the body. Then, through the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, the deoxygenated blood are collected and it opens to right atrium. And also, there are two pairs of pulmonary veins. They are open at left atrium. This collects oxygenated blood from the lungs. Then both auricles and ventricles are relaxed. Okay. Here you can observe the artery that is further divided into branch as arteriole, then further divided as capillaries. Then these capillaries join and form venules. These venules join and form veins. Right. Next, we are going to see about the differences between arteries and veins. So, what are the differences between arteries and veins? In artery, blood flows out of the heart, but in veins, blood flows into the heart. And the artery walls are thick, and the veins, the walls of the veins are comparatively thin. Then arteries not scattered, the valves are not scattered. In veins, valves are scattered. Here you observe, in arteries, normally oxygenated blood, but in heart, the pulmonary artery that carries deoxygenated blood. I already mentioned, but normally in artery, oxygenated blood available, but in heart, the pulmonary artery, it carries deoxygenated blood. In veins, normally deoxygenated blood available, but in pulmonary veins, they carry oxygenated blood. Okay, so these are the differences between arteries and veins. Then capillaries. So capillaries consists of a single cell layer. It connects to arteries and veins. Mainly, it exchange of certain elements between your body and tissue. For example, it separates nutrition and gases, and blood diffuses into the cells, and also waste matter in the cells diffuse into the blood capillaries. These are capillaries. Right. So, I think you understood about the structure of heart and also parts of the heart and their functions. So, in nowadays, you all know heart diseases is the biggest problem. Everyone should die by these heart diseases. So, there are some heart diseases occurs due to the poor supply of blood and also malfunctioning of heart blood tissues. So, due to the poor supply of blood, myocardial infarction may occur. Due to the malfunctioning of blood tissues, hole in the heart, and also rheumatic fever, hypertension, this may occur. So, let us see about what is the reason for heart diseases. Due to our daily lifestyle, we always eat fatty foods and oily foods. So, when a person consumed high level of animal fat, the cholesterol deposited in the walls in arteries. The cholesterol deposited in arteries and they block the blood flows. So what happens if they block the blood flows? The heart doesn't get blood and the person will die. So how can we reduce these heart diseases? So hypertension also one of the reasons. The hypertension takes place due to the stress. Okay? Right. Now, let us see about components of blood and their function. Normal person has about 4.5 liter to 5.5 liter blood in his body. And in blood fluid, 55% in liquid form. This liquid part is called as plasma. And 45% of its volume consists of corpuscles, which is in solid form. Right? So we can divide the blood, corpuscles, and plasma. In corpuscles, RBC, red blood cells, and WBC, white blood cells, and platelets. But in plasma, water, things soluble in water, and things insoluble in water. These are considered plasma, and corpuscles consist of RBC, WBC, and platelets. Now, let us see about the types of corpuscles. First one, RBC, right? Red blood cells. These red blood cells we call as erythrocytes, and WBC, white blood cells we call as leukocytes, then platelets. So in RBC, the shape of these RBC is biconcave. And the RBC, the lifespan of RBC is 3 months. And the RBC is originated in bone marrow and destroyed in spleen. The red color of its blood is due to these cells. The red color of erythrocytes comes from hemoglobin. Okay? So this hemoglobin, the function of hemoglobin, is carries oxygen from lungs to the body cells. So if the level of hemoglobin is reduced in the blood, the anemia will cause. So the disease anemia, the symptoms for anemia, tiredness and weakness. Okay, these are symptoms for anemia. Then here you can observe with RBC. Then WBC or erythrocytes. These are larger than erythrocytes. So WBC, the leukocytes. These are larger than erythrocytes. The main function defends the body by destroying pathogens and it produces antibodies. Here also, we can divide the WBC, leukocytes, into granules and with granules. So in granules, neutrophils, basophils and eosinophils comes under granules, and without granules, they are lymphocytes and monocytes. So in percentage, in neutrophils, it has high percentage. So we can divide the lymphocytes into with granules and without granules. With granules, neutrophils, eosinophils and basophils, and without granules, lymphocytes and monocytes. Here you can observe is lymphocyte, monocyte and eosinophils, basophils and neutrophils. Okay. Normally, if the leukocytes is increased in the blood cancer will occur. Okay. Then platelets, it helps in clotting process. Platelets, it helps in clotting process of blood of a bleeding site. When the platelets decreased in the blood, the dengue will occur. Okay. So in hospitals, they count the dengue. So when the counting is low, decreased in the blood, they consider the dengue. He is a dengue patient. Okay. Then plasma. The main function of the plasma is transporting substances dissolved in it, and also it transports the digestive products, vitamins, minerals into the cells, and also it transports the excretory products during biochemical reactions within the cells to the excretory organs, and also this plasma transports hormones, protein, enzymes and gases to the relevant parts of the human body. Okay, this you observe.